Welcome back, everyone. Today we're reading Tumblr because I want to. The beast looks in horror as it sees the weight of its fins. Oh my gosh, the little baby seal is so freaking creepy, but also adorable. Like, look how big those fins are on it. Oh my, is it fin flippers? I don't know the actual terminology. I just want to give it a huggle. I want to huggle it. I've been laughing about the Mark Hamill gay tweet for 6 hours. For those of you who don't know, the Mark Hamill gay tweet is just Mark Hamill typing the word gay over and over again. Don't ask me why he did this, he just did. So I take it you wish to indoctrinate small children into gender and sexual ideology because that's the only reason you're parroting idiotic propaganda. Ben grinding his teeth over this might be the funniest thing I've seen in years. Bro, you're seething over the Mark Hamill gay tweet. Hi Ben, I love mind-reading acts. Now guess which finger I'm holding up. Mark Hamill. Is no one else going to mention the fact that Mark signs his name as Mark Hamill? Honestly, it's pretty good. He right. Sounds the same. I'd do it. Bro, why do you keep insisting we try to disarm this gender-bending trap? We literally mapped out the whole dungeon floor. We could just walk around it. Whoa, watch it, bud. If I hadn't caught you, you would have fallen straight into that pit of tentacles. Good thing I stopped you when I did, huh? Oh man, if I was just a few minutes late, that vampire baroness would have hypnotized you and made you her thrall. Good thing you can always count on me, eh? Come on, let's get going. The next round's on you. You're so helpful, yet not in the ways I need. Affirmations for bus drivers. I am appealing and necessary for society to function. 10 minutes is not that late. I can fit through that gap. The passengers don't need to sit down before I blast away from the bus stop. I can take this turn as fast as I want. 20 minutes is not that late. Everyone on this bus desires me carnally. 30 minutes is not that late. Why does every girl in a doujinshi have to not like, ooh, no, your hot stuff is inside me. It's pouring inside me. Oh, no. Her hot stuff is inside me now. I'll get pregnant with your hot stuff. Oh, not inside me. Me when I eat soup, lol. What kind of soup you eating? Some really good frickin' soup. Dionysus? I can't describe it, but yet I'll tell you in a riddling way. Have you ever had a sudden lust for soup? Heracles, soup, some mercy, yes, 10,000 times. How do you have a reaction image for this post at this moment for this context? Localized entirely in your kitchen. Instead of trying to be better than everybody, just pick one person and try to be better than them. I picked myself. Ooh, very foolish to pick the one person that is logically impossible to ever be better than. Please think these things through. Something really funny about that is that if you take someone who isn't like remarkably better at you at something, like roughly the same level as you, it can actually be really good to compare yourself to them to tell whether or not you're growing in certain ways. But also because you can recognize the ways they're growing and take that before the gap gets so big that it's next to impossible to tell how they got there. This is a real strategy. It actually works pretty well. As a transgender man who is going to be having a baby, I'm so glad that by technicality, my child will be able to fulfill the prophecy and defeat Macbeth. To be on the safe side, get a C-section? Macbeth really needs defeating. Ironically, I do have to have a C-section due to a hip problem I have, so it's double accurate. I like how this post implies that Macbeth is still out there, most likely terrorizing people, and no one has been able to stop him. The problem with playing Disco Elysium is that after you played it, you can't play it for the first time again. Someone should fix this. Disco Elysium is a game where the MC literally loses all his memories by drinking and drugging himself. Bestie, the solution is staring at you in the face. Wants to read, doesn't read. Wants to draw, doesn't draw. Wants to study a language, doesn't study the language. Wants to watch new movies, doesn't watch new movies. Wants to do stuff I like and enjoy, doesn't. This is called depression. Oh no. I think it is important to recognize the way in which your favorite thing sucks. I think it keeps you normal. Hey, see, I feel like this only works if your favorite thing is like media. How am I supposed to critique the problematic themes of eels, the fish? Brev, I'm so sorry to put you on blast like this, but please know this had me in hysterics. I don't know enough about eels to say, but I can tell you right now, there are a lot of animals that are problematic. Consent is oddly rare in the animal kingdom. Remember, behind every robot that turns evil is an engineer who specifically installed red LEDs in the eyes for just this occasion. One time, I was leaving a friend's place and an older lady with basically no English came up to me and communicated that she was very cold and needed a ride. She pointed to tell me where to go. I got there and her daughter or granddaughter, not sure which, came out and was like, "Oh my god, her phone died, we were worried." And then the older lady said something and the younger lady translated. She knew she could trust you because you have pink hair. I thought it was funny at the time, but when I think back on it, I think she was basically saying, you have a visible sign of not vibing with the system I was afraid of. Be weird, be colorful, help random people. I just saw in the Queens use gene slide in place of the word genocide, and at what point are we going to decide that this kind of self-censorship is too degrading to abide anymore? Grape, Sue slide, the panini. I feel like I'm surrounded by rugrats who overheard the grown-ups talking about the news. The panini is referring to the pandemic, by the way. I know a lot of people are going to get hung up by that one. Grape, you remove the G. Suey slide, I usually hear people call it sewer slide, but to each their own, I guess. This is mean, but when I'm in a safe context to do so, I love pretending I don't understand what they mean and forcing them to explain in plain language. It's not mean, you are so normal. If someone uses these terms when speaking to me directly, I'm gonna end up on the news. Okay, because of all my shorts and videos, I want to point out the only times and reasons I will censor is because I think the platform will not let me get away with saying it. And I hate it because it feels so disingenuous. Especially when it's a genuinely messed up thing I'm talking about in context. Like, I'm actually discussing this thing, but if I don't censor it or use very specific wording, then they cut it out. They will literally delete videos. They will block people being able to see it. Usually for shorts, I just get demonetized and it hides in the algorithm enough that most people can't see it. But still, at that point, there's only so much I can do about it on the platform. I kind of have to play by their rules. It sucks, but it's why I do it. They don't give me a choice. Writing tip, if you push buttons on a keyboard, letters will appear on the screen, and with that power, you can do anything. I think it was cruel to give Lightning McQueen a foot fetish, as he lives in a world where all feet are wheels. He has nothing. Sorry, I wasn't talking to you, I think. It's really funny that millennials are saying online that the 2000s were the last great decade to be a kid or a teenager are the same ones that are saying, how did we survive the decade 2000s full of rampant homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, sexism, xenophobia, and racism when we were kids and teens? Man, it's almost like it was really easy to ignore all the hate when you were a child. Assuming that the hate wasn't targeted towards you, that is. Ignorance is bliss. Nothing slapped my stuff back into place like someone pointing out that the genius gifted child with so much potential who got burnt out in mental illness. It's just a nerdy equivalent to the jock. Could have been a pro at sports ball if it wasn't for the injury. And in both cases, most people just vastly overassumed how good they were. and refused to let them just be normal and enjoy the things they liked. So now it's genuinely hurtful to do them. So my cat is sleeping between my legs, and then this happened, and I laughed so hard he woke up. That's a potato. Your cat looks like an uncooked chicken. So we agree that is food. Got it. The anger, the fury, the muscles. I appreciate how horny she was for him. I like when you're in a grocery store and you see people buying eggs because they always pick up the carton and open it like it's a metal briefcase full of cash involved in a drug deal, and they're confirming it's money. Don't bother counting it, it's all there, 12. Then they always pick one up and inspect it like, yeah, it's grade A, alright, the real deal. People are checking to see if the eggs are cracked, you walnut. Turning Point USA is kind of performance art. Like, let's consider that the other founder died from COVID in 2020. Two people start a conservative organization to push COVID conspiracies and pro-gun ideals, among other things. One dies of COVID, the other dies of gun violence. It's so on the nose that it's actually cliche. Abort a baby voice. I would have been the third founding member of Turning Point USA. If you'd kept me. Okay, so I was walking my dog downtown and he stopped to drink from a dog bowl in front of a bar, and I was like, oh, are you thirsty, little boy? And a grown butt man was sitting there and said, I guess I am, as he took a sip of his beer and then realized I was not talking to him and looked completely horrified. Yeah, I'd screw him too. Radioactive Bakeries is right. The biggest tragedy in the world is something that is almost perfect, but one detail is so incredibly bull that the whole thing is ruined. What the serving gunt? It's her, the bint. What is this? I don't know how I feel about this. I'm kind of impressed. Men and women are not opposites. Men and women are not enemies. Men and women are two parts of a broad coalition that fights against a mutual enemy. Inkjet printers. The non-binaries remain undecided in this battle. They relate too much to the printers, you see. Rating things I've been recently. Door, 3 out of 10. Not really satisfying. Hurt my skeletal system a bit. Cap from a water bottle, 7 out of 10. Pretty satisfying. Hurt my teeth a little, but it's okay. A label from a water bottle, 5 out of 10. It's not nothing, at least it didn't cause any discomfort. Phone, 3 out of 10. Again, hurt more than I expected. Also, may have swallowed a speck of glass. Let me know what I should bite next time. Update, cardboard is a 10 out of 10. Joe Rogan, Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? If Jesus does return, you don't think he could return as artificial intelligence? AI could absolutely return as Jesus. Americans invent types of blasphemy atheists could only dream of. This is going to be an actual thing, isn't it? A ChatGPT Jesus is going to catch on and cause some freaking cult movement in our lifetimes. I wouldn't be surprised if it already has and I just haven't heard of it yet. I would not bat an eye at that, honestly. I got married to my wife and our pupper was our flower girl. 2.5 years ago, this wasn't possible as it wasn't legal in Australia. It rained our entire wedding day, but it was so worth it in the end with our phenomenal photographer. Opie, this looks absolutely magical. I forgot homophobia was a thing. I spent around 5 seconds wondering why it was ever illegal to have a dog as a flower girl. Look at the dog. So cute. Sorry for being annoying. Remembers that practicing gratitude instead of shame is better for my mental health and my relationships. I mean, thank you for letting me be annoying with you. I'm gonna be honest, if one of my friends ever says, thank you for letting me be annoying with you, I will hug them. They are my friend forever now. I'm from an alternate universe, but not a cool, interesting one. The only difference is that the natural third option when asking if you'd like something to drink other than coffee and tea is the instant soup in a cup. It just makes sense to offer a savory option. Lots of flavors, too. Coffee shop AU is not as popular as soup store AU there. I mean, that makes sense. There's more options, and the only thing to do in a coffee shop is buy coffee. But in a soup store, you can also buy clothes. That's dumb and I love it. 5-second rule, he said, taking a large bite out of the raw chicken breast. Look, buddy, I can do a love emote. I can do a emote comprised entirely of boiling acid. With certain provisions from the Wildlife Welfare Act, I can even do a piranha-infested emote, but I cannot provide all three services simultaneously in the same goddamn emote. You can call any contractor in this industry, they will tell you the same. What if it was 3 consecutive emotes? Oh, that, sure. Heck, we can have it installed by Tuesday. I need you all to understand that this is, in fact, exactly what working in construction is like. Hey, me and the other crabs in the bucket have noticed that you're actually getting near the top. And, sorry, but that's low-key problematic. Because, we'll still be in the bucket. So, yeah, if you could maybe take accountability and get back in the bucket. This is what every mental health conversation on this godforsaken website sounds like to me. According to the song Seasons of Love from Rent, there are 325,600 minutes in a year. One line later, there are 525,000 moments so dear. So doing the math, we can glean that there are 600 moments that aren't so dear. And I think I just used one of them by walking in on my boss who forgot to lock the bathroom stall. This both did not go remotely in the direction I was expecting it to. Being made by virtual fertilization, IVF, is so funny. My parents didn't have any fun times. My parents conducted an experiment with a scientist. My humble beginnings can be traced to a petri dish. Some person I don't know clocked into work and then just made me. I was made in a lab and didn't even get any cool powers or anything. I'm just a girl that works 9 to 5. The tag mentioned how likely it is for IVF to produce twins, and it reminded me of the fact that I ate my twin in the womb. So maybe my secret power is eating people. I wasn't from IVF, but I did the same thing. Num num num. I was hungry in the womb. What do you want? The society that separates its gamers from its scholars will have its gaming done by fools and its thinking by noobs. You are 15,000 generations removed from stone tools. To be clear, you are 15,000 generations removed from the invention of stone tools, not from the end of stone tools. Modern humans are still using stone tools. If it ain't broke, break it with a rock. Flawless tags at baddie wrong legs. I could never be a supervillain because if I captured a hero, I'd just be drooling all over their chest until they escaped. I feel like most supervillains are like that, actually. No, that doesn't disqualify you. Lost focus and... whatever I was gonna say can't possibly be funnier than the mere existence of this draft. Dad passed this lady her drink and she said, "Thank you, sir." Well, I guess I'm not allowed to say sir anymore since it's a pronoun. And he literally just looked at her like this. He's now very worriedly asking me if he looks like a conservative. I just had a really good mango, and it was so good that I had to illustrate how it made me feel afterwards. Oh. A pessimist sees a dark tunnel. An optimist sees the light at the end of the tunnel. A realist sees the freight train. A train driver sees 3 frickin' idiots standing on the train tracks. Jeffrey Jefferson, my main man. This is a perfect joke. I quit my job at Jimmy John's. I'm almost gonna beat his butt. You know, I don't get people like Bezos. If I had billions of dollars, I would impulsively start fixing stuff. Homeless vets? I don't think so. Hungry children? Not on my watch. He could be Batman. What a waste. If you're the kind of person who would do that, you'll never become Bezos in the first place. Well, you're technically doing numbers, just not very good ones. I'm in so much debt. Listen, in my heart, all my posts are bangers. I hate it when people on my side of an argument are making bad points. You're literally right. Why are you being so stupid about it? I just had a nightmare that I was 2 hours late for school and my dad was yelling at me about it. I woke up in a panic and remembered, oh wait, it's Saturday, and lay back down feeling the panic dissolve. Then, 10 seconds later, I'm 31. The lasting psychological effects of school are very prominent. I'm using Internet Explorer. I hope this posts quickly. Happy New Year's 2011. The longer this goes on for, the funnier it gets. Wearing a t-shirt that says not in a perv way, so that every time I talk about one of my bizarre interests or fixations, I can point to my shirt and clear everything up. Like, yeah, I'm super into puppets. Pointing at the shirt, not in a perv way. Or like, oh yeah, I love dolls. Pointing at the shirt. You get it by now. They call me the awesome asexual. Getting a shirt that says in a perv way, to clear up any misunderstandings that I'm not a perv or something. I think knives are neat. Staring cause I'm horny and forgot about the shirt. You wanna look at knives with me? We are direct ideological opponents. I am morally obligated to murder you to death. Almost forgets. And not in a perv way. No. I want a sitcom with these two. Force them to be roommates, it'll be great. Poutine, 20 camp supplies. Fries, cheese, and gravy, a perfectly balanced meal. The existence of poutine in a Dungeons & Dragons video game either suggests that poutine is inevitable in every universe, or that there's a 1950s-era French-Canadian somewhere in the magical land of Faerun. As a Canadian, I approve of either of these options. Poutine is all-powerful. You cannot escape it. I know a lot of people who didn't grow up with poutine might not think it looks that good, but if you've tried it, it is incredible. Anyone, hey, asks about a special interest of mine. Me becomes an unskippable cutscene. Oh, good, I get to explain this to you. You will regret this. Typing. This section may contain an extensive amount of intricate detail that may interest only a particular audience. I forgot that Americans spell it mommy, and therefore the strongest frick ice mummy was unambiguously about some sort of undead icelet, and not ambiguously about a sort of buff frosty MILF archetype, like I have been imagining for most of the past couple years. How does it feel to walk around the world and perceive with such profound transformative capacity? I'm sweating my balls off. Tap and hold to imagine with AI. Try it. Honestly, I think I'm good without that, thanks. Try it. So my baby sis, age 5, learned that I'm transgender this holiday season because she found pictures of kid me in dresses and questioned my mother about it, who said, well, Wiz used to be a girl, but now he's a boy. And it sounded a bit like it happened to me, which is funny. Anyways, it means that baby sis has been doing this incredible bit where anytime she draws someone, she asks them if they want to be drawn as a boy or a girl. That is adorable. Lesbian-heated rivalry wouldn't be in hockey because there are already many out queer women in hockey due to the fact that hockey is viewed as a men's sport. The whole reason why hockey is captivating for male love male is because it is a toxically masculine sport, and the idea of having out queer men in that sport is surprising, requiring them to stay closeted, have situationships, etc. Whereas it's not nearly as surprising for queer women. Therefore, lesbian-heated rivalry would actually occur in a setting like ballet, gymnastics, or some other stereotypically feminine sport that has toxic feminine standards, where queer women are not as visible. In this essay, I love history. I love a lot of vintage styles and vintage music. I hate vintage values. Nostalgia is a monster for conservatives. I think
that is why actually studying what the frick was going on during these time periods, instead of just appreciating the idealized version of 1950s nuclear family, is so important. Times are tough. I wouldn't want to live in the past. I want a better future. And for some reason, this is controversial. Bedtime was half an hour ago. My 6-year-old just walked out, bleary-eyed, and asked her father if a duck is a predator. Look, some things are too important to go to bed without knowing. Okay, I did some digging. Biology insights. This was shockingly difficult to get an answer for, by the way. So apparently ducks themselves are prey animals for a variety of larger predators, including raccoons, foxes, hawks, eagles, and snapping turtles. Their role in the broader food web involves containing the nutrient cycling by consuming plant and animal material and helping to control populations of certain organisms such as snails. While ducks are predators, so they are, their impact is usually limited to smaller organisms within the aquatic and terrestrial habitats. So the answer is yes, they are. And yes, I did need to Google this. Sitting outside, saw a dude in a dark blue jacket and black pants jog past my house, and a few minutes later, a woman wearing the exact same outfit and same hair color comes back from the direction jogging past again. Hashtag transgender? Human pregnancy is so wild to me. Like, you can just create another consciousness. And you can do it accidentally in the Cheesecake Factory parking lot. I mean, that's kind of how all pregnancy works, but also, is it really accidentally? Like, you might not have meant to do it, but there's a point where it's not really a full accident either, you know? Hurt people, hurt people. Yes, mistress, anything for you, mistress. Operate my artillery, die in my trenches, please, wield my blade. I will die in combat for you, mistress. See, great benefit of hanging out with trans dudes is you can hit them with the hell yeah, brother, when you agree, and everyone gains a sort of +1 stat boost from it. Vampires are so full of it. Oh, the human race is beneath us. You're just livestock to us. I don't think you understand what livestock is. Do you feed us? Care for us, protect us from predators? No, you just slink around dark alleys and ambush people. That's not what a higher being does. That's a bottom feeder, a parasite. Karate punches your head off. If a British person is named Shaggy, does it kind of feel like being named Fricky? The first time I watched Scooby-Doo, I was distraught. That's what I wanted to hear. It's 2010. A Japanese woman sits down to take photos of her Shiba Inu dog for her blog. Suddenly, a man leaps out of a time portal. Sorry, I can't let you do this. I cannot tell you why. She asks, is it forbidden knowledge from the future? He sighs. No, it's just too frickin' stupid to explain. A while back, I took Sudoku to the vet. She said he looked healthy and very beautiful. She said he was a gorgeous and handsome rat with a lovely fur pattern. I sometimes forget he's a stud rat. I just see him as a really silly creature. Prize rat. I didn't need the word stud rat. I did not need those words, but now I have them. I almost said this is knocking me up to something that amused me. I really don't know what I was even trying to say. That was pretty funny. I'm pregnant. With laughter. Can you say that again? I think vampires should latch onto their victim's neck like a tick and just stay there until they bloat and fall off naturally. I hate that. Does this mean that I'll find a vampire sucking on the tender flesh of my stomach at 11 p.m. when I'm in the shower? Because I really don't want to experience that again. You fanfic girls would go crazy for that. Everyone wants to be sucked off by a vampire until they're in the shower and glance down and see teeth embedded in their flesh. I mean, I feel like there's a place for that in fiction. I think we should make this a thing. Do not go gentle into that good night. Be a bit of a prick about it. Prick against the dying of the light. Can't in good conscience leave this one out. Nunchucks are illegal in some states, but guns are not. So you tie two guns together and create gunchucks, it's neither legal nor illegal. Schrodinger's gunchucks. Why does Schrodinger have so many things? Schrodinger's hoarding problem. He likes weird stuff, okay? Let him have a hobby. The extra grace and patience you show to autistic people can also be extended to anyone you perceive as neurotypical. Give it a try. Maybe just treat everyone with respect and kindness even when they act a little bit weird. What is the January mood? But I bought a big bat, and I'm all ready, you see. Now my troubles are going to have troubles with me. You're feeling a lot braver than I am. Special thanks to Willow, our glass sailor.